Hey guys, welcome back. We're doing what we always do, drinking beer, watching a video. Today, our beer is what?
We have Resident Culture Brewing Company's Riding for the Feeling. Not filling, but feeling. Pilsner.
All right. And to accompany that, we have a song by a group I last heard in the 90s, probably. The Afghan Whigs.
Ooh.
One of their new songs. So we will see you in a second.
Yee!
Guys, let's drink
Sarah's
some
dying.
beer.
Yeah!
Yes.
So we got Resident Culture, a Pilsner from them, Riding for the Feeling. And let's see, Italian style Pilsner hopped with Hallertar. Wow, there's some crazy hop names. Mittelfra, German Sapphire, and Herzbucher. Which, you know, I tried to add some kind of accent to it, which probably isn't right, but hey, who cares?
I didn't recognize any of those.
No, those more European style, I assume. The Herzbucher, I think we've actually had in another beer before, so.
Well, you're doing the light pour there.
Oh, but I finished off with the hard. Oh, yeah. So look at that. Nice, pretty color. Definitely hazy Pilsner. Like most Pilsners we see are nice and crystal and
Right.
a couple of hazier ones, but this one's leaning toward, kind of almost looks like an IPA when you look at it.
Yeah.
It's not super effervescent. Actually, head is leaning toward the pillowy side, kind of marshmallowy.
Yeah. I would have expected it to dissipate very quickly. But it's,
Which it has, for the most part.
What?
Heavy pour, I had about 3 fingers when I first
okay.
started. About 1.5 now. Ooh. That's very floral. Very floral.
a little bit of wheat. Your yeast.
But very clean smelling, almost like one of those what are the things they use for the aromatherapy? It almost smells like if you had a good beer smell and aromatherapy, this would be a good one to use.
So
Nice.
you called it with the floral aspect.
Oh wow.
This has a really nice flavor profile. I like this a lot. Already I can tell.
This is very different than a lot of the other pilsners we've had.
It almost has like a grapefruit rind taste at the end.
You get the citrus. You're getting a hoppiness like you're used to from IPA,
Right.
but without that dankness that you get. You're tasting the different floral notes and the slight bitterness that you get from the different hops. And I have to read up on these hops a little bit. Not really the ones I'm used to.
So this is pretty interesting because they're saying they made an Italian Pilsner using these German hops.
Yeah. Which pilsners have hops, but it's not usually a hop like a IPA leaning pilsner is not really what I haven't seen one of these. So this is definitely, if you are an IPA fan and always think, oh, pilsners are too light, that's it's not hoppy enough for me. Resident Culture is giving us something that you may really like.
Yeah, I agree with that.
All right,
And, well, we'll drink it more, watch our video,
yeah.
give our final word on it.
So who is this again? What are we doing?
We are doing the Afghan Whigs. They had a big band or a big album in '93.
Yep.
I think it was called Gentlemen. And had a couple videos out, but here we go.
I'm trying. That's the last time I've heard anything from them. I've heard their names and when you have that really big audiophile friend who's like, oh, you remember the B-side third song in on the Afghan Whigs, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no.
That doesn't ring a bell.
And most people probably don't, but they have influenced a bunch of people, which is good.
Yeah.
So, like to hear it. All right, so let's jump on in.
Yeah.
We messed up our little system. This is a visualizer, by the way, so it's not a whole video. Get start back. Okay, I don't know if fill it building, don't know if it builds into something or if they keep it pretty level.
Right.
But so I don't know what to expect of Afghan Whigs. All I remember is some of their stuff people considered weird, and that can be a very wide spectrum.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what that.
Like King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard?
Yeah, like that type. Like, do they change genre styles a lot? Or are they in their lane and they do what they do? You know what I mean? I'm not sure. So this kind of reminds me, like, the Queens of the Stone Age had to listen to these guys. Like, this song reminds me of that. A Foo Fighter influence is in, like, I hear it, like, everywhere. Like, they've influenced a bunch of different people in that 90s genre, because it doesn't sound like, or not in the 90s genre, but in like the 2000s, because in the 90s you had everything that was grunge, and yeah, there were certain parts like this, but not everything. So
this song though is new. It came out in 2022.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's, they could be drawing from
they could be drawing from a bunch of that stuff. Okay, so that's the thing, is like one of those things that I have no way of knowing or what to expect from them.
What I like so far
I do like
is you have those, I mean, some distorted guitars, but then there's one in the left side, kind of in the background, going. I love that.
And even the drums, they have those little accents in there.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, this has a little bit of everything I like from the 2000s. If there was stuff I liked, it was that little late 90s to Caius and stuff like that. Queens of the Stone Age, some of the Wolf Mother stuff, that kind of stuff. Pretty good. I like the lyrics.
Oh, that bass. That's pretty freaking cool. That Queens of the Stone Age right there.
Which Frank Black too, a little bit. Some of the weird stuff he used to do with the Pixies. It's a really good lyric video.
Wow. Very, very cool.
Different, reminiscent of things, but not something that you go, oh, they're in this group. There's a lot of layers and textures in that. I mean, you've got what almost sounds like, I wouldn't say a harpsichord, but probably a keyboard in the background doing like little things hidden behind the layered guitars. So you have the heavy distorted, and you have the almost like a crunchy high-pitched guitar behind it.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a wall of sound there. It was pretty good.
It definitely was a wall of sound.
Wow.
Thinking back to stuff from '93 that they did, what I remember is he always has like very emotional lyrics. Like it seems like he writes from the self.
Yeah.
Not like
his view of things through his
from his emotional experience.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was trying to figure out, and it almost, like, I was trying to figure out if it was like an addiction to drugs or something, and then a withdrawal.
Yeah.
But I'm not positive.
Yeah, they were very
vague. But
yes. And the visual was keeping me from thinking about them too much.
yeah. So I was just like, but I was sitting there looking at it going, all right, so it seemed like the talking about the lines, and I was thinking, okay, is that like a prescription pad? It seemed like, or doing lines of coke, or was it meant to have like multiple meetings? And then it stops in the middle and goes, and now a word from our sponsor, and I'm like, is it selling people and to do like legal drugs, like, and you have all the prescription addictions and everything like that,
and you have that line. You make the body ache.
Yeah, and then you make
like
the body
it might be about some kind
withdrawals,
of
and so that's what I was kind of kicking around. But who knows? I could be completely way off base.
Yeah.
It could be about working out, and then the next day you're like, damn.
That lactic
And
acid
all
kicks in.
the thing about the lines and everything is, hanging out at the gym waiting for the freaking treadmill. Who knows?
I'm gonna look into that more because I
That was actually really good.
Yeah.
That was my first one, so
Yeah.
first one I
Guys.
remember at least.
This beer was a great accompaniment to that song because everyone knows I don't like IPAs,
Yep.
but and this is not an IPA, but it has a complex flavor profile
Bitter
like an
hop
IPA. Yeah.
layers in
Yeah. And to call this a Pilsner almost seems weird.
It seems strange to do it,
Yeah.
and I don't know if it because I've had Italian pilsners and lagers, and there's not many of them that I would consider very hop forward. Like
No.
there's ones that
Not
have
at
a
all.
touch more hop, but it's nothing like this at all.
Yeah.
Like Morelli and whatever the other one is. But anyway, I mean, this thing is. It's going to be a hard one to rate just because of where it's at and what it's called. So what are you thinking?
I'm going to give this a 4.
Oh, he's
'Cause
going nuts, people.
I could grab a 4-pack of these and would have no problem.
Does it have the
drinking
alcohol
a few.
content in it? I didn't even see it. I'm sure it's hidden in there somewhere.
I didn't.
Might be that little line going over the top right there.
Oh, you're right. 5%.
5%? Okay, so easy drinking beer.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I want to go 4, but I'm confused by it. And it's not, you know what I mean? It's one of those things that I'm just like, why do you taste this way, Pilsner? I'm just going to rate it on, hey, in the main beers, out of all the beers I've had,
Right.
would I put this in the top third, basically? And it is yes. Now, the rating is really hard, but I'm going to go with you. I'm going to say it's a 4.
All right. Wow.
Yeah, I was going to hedge my bets for a while, but there's no reason to. I'm really
Yeah.
trying to come up with a reason not to give it a 4, which
And
isn't
in fact,
right.
if you think about it, this is our first beer of our recording session today, right? Mm-hmm. Usually we're trying to score lower on a first beer.
Yeah.
Or not that we're trying to, but it tends to work that way.
Tends to work that way because, you haven't loosened up at all, so you're like, man, working into it. But,
So, yeah. We haven't had a 4 in a while. We've had
No.
some very close.
we have very, very close. Actually, we've been on a very good run lately, and I'm afraid of each next beer, afraid of what it's actually going to taste like. But, damn.
Thanks, guys.
Hey. All right.
Resident culture.
Resident culture, you guys rock. Guys, we watched the Afghan Whigs.
I'll make you see God. something
There
like
you
that.
go. I'll make you see God. And then we had Resident Culture's Writing for the Feeling,
That's
which, all right, for this feeling all day long. But anyway, but if you look down in the description, you'll have a link to both. Make sure you click on both of those or copy and paste them into your browser. Make sure you check them out. That's the reason why we do the show. We don't get paid for this. We don't get sponsorships. Nothing like that. We go pick up these beers on our own and we go, hey, this is what we want to do. And this is what we came up with today. And we actually got 2 really good ones. So
Yeah.
pumped for it. So make sure you guys support them. And then we got some other crap down in there.
Oh, yeah. We got BEVANA. They deliver local craft breweries to you.
Look
you
at
get
that.
to pick all the beers.
Yeah.
Your first order, you get 10% off using the code down below.
Yes.
And what else do we need to say? We got merch. We got new merch. We got not just like our logo, but we have like us dressed up in skirts like the baby metal ladies.
Yeah. We look
So,
like the worst version of baby metal you've ever seen. But anyway, so all right, guys. So that's all we got this time. Make sure you guys click like, subscribe, and tell your friends. We'll talk to you guys later.
Later, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.